My boss fired me via email at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. What he didn't know was that I'd already registered the business idea he'd stolen from me, and by 5 p.m., his entire client list had received my welcome email as his direct competitor. My name's Alex, and I learned a very expensive lesson about loyalty. I worked at Harrison & Associates for 4 years. It was a mid-sized marketing agency in Birmingham, and I loved my job. I was lead strategist, which meant I was the creative force behind most of our major campaigns. My boss, Richard Harrison, was charming, well-connected, and absolutely ruthless, though I didn't know the full extent of that last part until it was too late. 2 months before this story begins, I pitched an idea during our quarterly strategy meeting. It was revolutionary for the industry, a fully automated AI-powered social media management platform specifically designed for small businesses. Not a generic tool, something bespoke, something that could learn each business's voice and generate content autonomously. The room went silent. Then Richard smiled that smile I'd learned to hate. Brilliant, Alex. This is exactly what the industry needs. We'll develop this in-house. I was thrilled. I thought we were about to change the game together. I spent the next 8 weeks building the foundation. Wireframes, code architecture, market research, competitive analysis, everything. Richard was involved in every meeting, asking questions, tweaking details, suggesting features. I thought he was being thorough. Turns out, he was taking notes. One Thursday, Richard called me into his office. He looked uncomfortable. That should have been my first warning sign. Alex, we're going to have to let you go. Budget cuts. Nothing personal, but you're the most junior senior staff member, so unfortunately, you're redundant. I was stunned. What? Richard, we're literally in the middle of, I know. That's been reassigned. Don't worry, your team will carry on. We'll have IT send you your personal files. Security will escort you out in 15 minutes. Your final paycheck will be in your account by Friday. He didn't even look at me. He was already looking at his computer screen, dismissing me. The escort out was humiliating. Everyone watched. No goodbye drinks, no explanation, just gone. They didn't even let me say goodbye to my team. I went home absolutely furious. And then, about an hour later, I received an email. Richard had sent it to the entire agency. Exciting news. We're launching a revolutionary new product, Social Mind, an AI-powered social media management platform. This is our biggest opportunity yet. Launch date, 6 weeks. He'd used my idea. My exact idea. The tagline was even similar to one I'd suggested. I spent that evening in a very dark place. 4 years of loyalty, and this is what I got. But then something shifted. I didn't get sadder, I got strategic. I registered a limited company that same night. Social Genius. I registered the domain, secured the social media handles, and set up a basic landing page from my flat. I had all the technical knowledge in my head. Richard had the wireframes and code I'd written, but he didn't have what I'd learned during those 8 weeks, all the shortcuts, the elegant solutions to complex problems, the exact architecture that would make it work. I spent the next 6 weeks working 16-hour days. I built a better version of my original idea. Faster, smarter, more intuitive. I maxed out 3 credit cards, cashed in my savings, and consumed an alarming amount of coffee. My mates thought I'd lost my mind. But I didn't do it alone. I contacted 3 of my former team members, people Richard had treated like shit over the years. I offered them equity and promised them a better working environment. They all said yes immediately. Richard's launch was scheduled for a Tuesday afternoon. He'd organized a big client event to introduce Social Mind. Major press, existing clients invited, the works. That Monday, I did something that might have been slightly illegal. I obtained the client list from our agency database using login credentials a sympathetic junior staff member provided. I had the email addresses of every single client Richard's agency worked with. Monday night, I sent them all a personal email from Social Genius, introducing our product, explaining we built something specifically designed to compete with the major players in this space, and offering them a free 3-month trial. Tuesday morning, before Richard's launch event, those same clients started asking him about us. By Tuesday afternoon, during his big reveal, clients were already on our platform testing it. And here's the thing, our product was better. Faster, more intuitive, cheaper, and honestly, just superior engineering. Within 3 weeks, we'd signed 40 of Richard's 60 major clients. Within 2 months, we'd completely eclipsed Social Mind. His investors pulled out. The project was shelved. The entire initiative, the one he bet the agency's reputation on, was dead. 6 months later, Harrison & Associates went under. Not just because of the product failure, but because losing 40 clients meant they couldn't sustain operations. Richard had to shut it down. The beautiful part? When Richard tried to come after me legally, claiming I'd stolen trade secrets and client lists, his own lawyers told him he had no case. I could prove he'd stolen my original idea. I could prove I'd created this independently in my own time. And I could prove the client list was obtained by a third party and used in accordance with data protection laws, barely, but technically. He couldn't touch me. Social Genius is now worth £2.3 million. We've got a team of 12, offices in Birmingham and London, and we're in talks about a series of funding round. My 3 former teammates are my co-founders and partners. They all own equity that's worth serious money. Richard? Last I heard, he was working as a freelance consultant for some small agency, trying to rebuild his reputation. His industry connections dried up. Clients he'd spent years cultivating walked away. His marriage fell apart during all this stress. One of his kids had to change schools because of the financial pressure. Do I feel bad about that? Not really. He destroyed me over 4 years of loyalty and thought there'd be no consequences. He learned there are always consequences. The lesson here is simple: if you're going to steal someone's idea, at least have the decency to not fire them first. Because the person who invented something once can invent it again. And this time, they'll do it better. And they'll own it completely. Sometimes revenge isn't about being petty, it's about being better. And I was better.